Good morning, everybody. Today is a very special day for very obvious reasons. Oh, I need to record this as well. Hold on. What chart am I on? BTC USD? Okay, let's do that. Cool. Cool, recording the chart. Well, thank you for tuning in. Today we need to go over my long-term prediction for Bitcoin because, well, the condition just completed to the dollar, and I am a little irked because it happened in a single goddamn candle. I'm going to show you what I mean, okay? We've been looking at the daily chart for quite some time, all right, where our 250 period was the longest overexpanded period. When we re-entered the band, we would anticipate it would revert to exactly the 250 mean. And oh, I've got something for you. I have actually done some looking back, and well, on January 18th was the earliest that I identified that actual pivot, at least from my digging. I released a lot of ideas, so I'm settling for January 18th because I said it cleanly and it's as earliest as I could find. Okay, so I'm just going to tune this in for you because I actually say it really well in this idea, Advanced Volatility Theory Daily Bitcoin Update. And I'm just going to skip to say where I switched to the daily chart. Okay? And then you're going to take you for a ride. You ready for this? You can find our longest overexpanded period on the 12-hour chart to identify the pivots of mean reversion up here as well. And that's still a little bit choppy, so I'm actually going to go to the daily. And well, I at least know that the daily pivot is going to be the 250 band for this relative plume of mass. So we load up the 250, right? And this is our pivot point for longer term mean reversion, okay? Take a look at this guy. Up here, at this location, you bet it, the 250 period had significant mass, okay? When you cross the 1.25 standard deviation of this relative band and the 250 distribution begins to compress, we see a return to its relative 250 moving average, okay? The 250 band, at least from this current expansion, is defining our downward trend, right? Because as long as we're below the 1.25 standard deviation of the longest overexpanded period, well, that defines trend, okay? And we do have our 200 weekly moving average down here. And I drew that pretty poorly. Let's try that again. Probably like that. And we're just gonna keep on tapping along it, right? And this will allow us to enter the band, which will result in either trending mean reversion or lateral mean reversion, where price just continues to go sideways directly on top of the weekly 200 moving average, while the mean takes the time to travel down to price, okay? Then, once this distribution begins to expand to the upside, that's when we're going to see our next bull run for Bitcoin. Okay, folks, thank you for listening to me talk. That was on January 18th. Let's draw out where that happened, okay? Right here on this candle, we identified when we re-enter the 250 band. Let's draw out the 250 band, okay? 250, let's have only the 250 band visible. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to make this as obvious as possible for you guys. As soon as we re-entered the 250 band, that was my official call of the market bottom for Bitcoin, okay? When we re-entered that band, I said one of two things would happen. We are either going to go sideways, and the mean will travel down to meet price, which, quite honestly, that's the way it looked like it was going to go for quite some time. Just 2 days ago, I predicted that our swing high of this relative run is going to be 4,400 because it was the 3.2 standard deviation. Big banks had a different idea. The institutional investors had a bigger idea. They said, well, why don't we just complete this mean reversion in a single goddamn candle? And that's exactly what they did. So, instead of lateral mean reversion, we got trending mean reversion. And so, two conditions, or rather the same condition, just different ways of completing it. And goodness gracious, I had a 5x long futures contract right here that I just said I'm going to keep that open. until we hit that 250 moving average chart, or moving average on the daily. And it missed its fill order by $15, and I never took the time to actually, well, refill it. So, oh, I'm sorry, it was actually right here on top of the weekly 200. Because if we draw the weekly 200 in there, we actually just barely don't touch it. So, now that we've re-entered, well, we retest the 200 weekly moving average. We should go over the technical pivots for this, okay? Still, this is a significant compressing distribution. We will stay inside the 250 band until what happens, right? Until the 250 band, right here, until it turns green. Well, shit. That just happened. Goodness gracious. Huh. That is absolutely insane. Our 250 period is now below the 0.7 value. Right, this is the event that I've been preaching about for the entire year, guys. And it happened in a single goddamn candle, and I didn't make any money off of it. I actually was in primarily tethered positions because, well, the 3.2 standard deviation tag just seemed too probable. And hell, it did tag, I just didn't count on the short squeeze to follow. A significant push. It's... You know, my instinct is to use the word baffling, but we actually predicted this, and I'm just annoyed that I didn't make any money off of it. Okay. As I always say, having a plan B at all is more important than having a good plan A. Okay? So I stopped out of my short positions. Now we're going to identify the proper means to re-enter these short positions, okay? And quite honestly, it's going to be a little bit rough for the time being. And actual calling any positions here is going to be a little naughty. One thing I can say is that altcoins have spiked down over the last 24 hours simply because of Bitcoin's massive increase in price. And the recommended scenario, or rather the highest probability scenario, that would be the best way to say it, is to wait for the re-entry of the 160 band on the 4-hour chart. Of course, that period of mass is slowly going to expand higher and higher, so we're going to need to constantly adjust that pivot to see what values we get here. But all this true net expansion, my goodness. It is a sight to behold, my friends. Truly. I just cannot get over that the exact price it stops at, well, not exact, it's pretty damn close, is the 250 moving average. So, the two scenarios I had were having the weekly 200 moving average, and price would just bounce, 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 and the mean would travel down to meet price, right? That was a viable scenario. It just astounded that they took enough force to actually push price up to the long-term target. And I still believe that we need to retest the previous targets as well. So I'm going to show you the BLX chart as well. Okay? So you guys can get that side-by-side comparison of the previous crash pattern, because it is going to give you some information. And I should have predicted a higher second high. Okay, let's just measure how long or how many candles we've been since the bottom. Okay, 109 days. Okay. Yeah, these ranges are certainly playing out differently now, aren't they? I want to take the counter trend short, but we need to wait for the compression signal. I just did not expect that the current Bitcoin chart would reach long-term target faster than this chart, right? Since from the entered pivot of mean reversion to the mean itself, here it was only 55 bars. And then this particular example of expansion, it was actually a shorter period, 100 actually. So, oh god, it's gonna be 100 candles, isn't it? 27, yeah, wow. One thing I can say, in relative certainty, is we are going to see an additional test of the weekly 200 moving average. I have some very low leverage shorts open, pretty much just the equivalent of 1.5x at the moment. And it's a long-term futures contract where I'm just waiting for it to retest longer-term values. And let's actually go to the weekly just so you guys can... Actually, I need to do over here on the BLX chart. Okay. So we're going to set this to the weekly 200. And one interesting thing we can do here is 250 divided by 6. $41. Okay, we're gonna do 42 period on the secondary band, because that's actually gonna show us just about the same pivot as we were looking at on the daily chart. Wait, no, divided by 7. What am I doing? 4-hour conversion. Yeah, 7. 35. Okay, and let's round it up to 36. So this is gonna be 36. Let's get it visible. Okay, cool. And let's go to the actual Bitcoin chart. Or they're just a generic Bitcoin pair so we can see the updated version. BTC USD. Come on, buddy. My computer is an absolute toaster today. In just the sense that it's generating a lot of heat. Its performance is fine. Okay, well, I have a saved Bitcoin pair down here somewhere. There we go. Goodness gracious, those pivots are clean. So we have our institutional benchmark of the weekly 200. Piling down through here, I would not be surprised if actually we just took a straight rejection down for the retest of the weekly 200 again. That would be a viable scenario. As far as the highest value we could potentially travel up to, it's going to be the top edge of the band here. However, I find that significantly more unlikely than just a shoot down for a retest. Okay? Bitcoin's big boom. What caused today's bull run? Ooh, I bet they don't know. I'll read it later. It was quite the boom today, though, I will admit. Okay, folks. I just actually want to point out a funny point on TRX as well. Because the expiration of the TRX contract actually saved me. Because let's just open up the regular pair. It's actually pretty funny. I'm going to show you guys this. I don't know, actually, I know the contract expired somewhere in here, but the contract expiration actually took me out of my position, and my stop loss was around here. So I would have been wicked out right before that. So I actually really lucked out big time. I saved a lot of money just because of the contract expiration. Okay, folks, this has been fun. I hope you enjoyed this Bitcoin update. I certainly didn't. This being right but not making any money is absolutely painful. And then I had this. Oh, you can't see it when I change tabs. Never mind. I'm gonna just be done. See you, folks. Except for you, live stream guys. I'm still here. Oh, did this use my default microphone? Oh, that's... No! That's gonna sound like shit. Except, I know I still have good audio quality on the stream, so that much is good news. Gold. Yeah, you do gold. But I'm just going to share this idea. It's at a 10-to-1 profit ratio, and we're actually getting really close to hitting its profit, or take profit target. Halfway there, my folks. I should update this. We did. Nice. How are we doing on viewers? 25. Holy hell. We're 222. That's good. I'm happy with you guys. I don't have my phone on me. It's charging because I'm about to go mountain biking. So I'm just going to read the comments from this beautiful iteration over here. Frank, hello. GCC1 exclamation point. Oh, I actually need to open up a new chart template. Gotcha. It's just so ugly. I hate this. I didn't make any money off of this huge event that I predicted. So I swear to God, guys, if my futures contract filled down on the weekly 200 mean, like down here early February, my buy order was right here, and we did not touch it. But I would have made about 3 or 4 Bitcoin. It's frustrating, but such is life. Okay, gold. I want to do the pair I like. Huh. That got dumpy. You know, this might be a cool correlation. Yes, I have Justin Sun's Twitter bookmark. Okay, you're about to see my Twitter feed. Buckle up. I follow Ben Shapiro. You've been warned. But I saw something on my Twitter feed this morning that I want to show you guys. I'm shaming myself so hard right here. It's so overtly political. Thomas Sowell is a goddamn genius. I just gotta say that right now. Oh, the person who I wanted to see tweets from is... Oh, there he is. All right. Largest monthly inflow to the S&P 500 growth ETF ever. Previous inflow extremes also preceded significant market sell-offs. Record bullishness at record valuations can never be a good sign. Yes. I just wanted to pull this up before I did gold because it felt very relevant. And I am kind of curious to put more research into S&P cash inflow and gold prices go hand in hand, or at least inversely. I'm sure there's correlation. There has to be. Just from a price action standpoint, I would consider this distribution. I want to see a more macro perspective. I'm guessing we're probably crossing a macro level mean reversion pivot. No overexpansion on the weekly. Let's try 3-day. It's ranging pretty hard. I'm guessing we're not going to generate any mass until we see a true breakout from this range. Of course, with economic weakness, it is easy to imply gold strength. So, I mean, 2008, gold did really well on the S&P 500, did really bad. I'm not seeing any true mean reversion pivots. I'm just kind of seeing a ranging thing. XRP. If I look at XRP USD, I'm just going to be telling you a different net expansion pivot. There's really no point. Right? Because I can look at FUSD and say, oh, wow, what a bullish experience we're having here on the 4-hour chart. Look at how much we just went up. But if we look at the FBTC pair, Ethereum's down, right? Okay? No. I'm not going to tell you Ethereum is bullish simply because Bitcoin pumped, right? I'm going to say ETH is bearish because we're getting new net expansion to the downside, right? Those are two very, very different things. A bullish Bitcoin condition will bring up alt prices in their USD value, even if you have an obviously bearish BTC chart. Frank Salomon, because I'm a Twitter noob. Yeah, Count Church says, and yes, the FA case based on an imminent flee to safe havens is part of my logic. Yeah, totally. You know, I would typically say vices are a good bet as well, because people like to drink and smoke when they don't feel well about the economy. And I want to add weed to that, but weed has been such a bubble that it's really not a good idea to invest. I got my ass saved by the TRX futures contract expiring, I swear to God. Fib pitchforks. They actually work pretty well, but only in the sense that you have enough lines on your chart that they seem accurate. They did perform pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna do like one more coin and then I want to go mountain biking. Yeah, Japanese yen, that's a good idea. There's probably no good place to open this position, but saying that gold is going to perform well against the yuan, Jesus. Sorry, I fell into like the Juan Jose meme and I can't go over calling it that. But gold against the yuan would actually be like my best bet for a hedge. Because you expect the yuan to go down because of the housing bubble, except you expect gold to go up. So if either one of those scenarios plays out, then you're golden. Let's just check another coin. Let's do Also, I haven't called a new trade call in how many days? Since March 27th. Yeah, it's been a while. It's almost been a week. And the reason I haven't called anything is because I've been expecting some kind of stupid bullshit like we saw in Bitcoin. And lo and behold, right, with the way mass was behaving, like, because we had the signs manipulation as titled by our last video, Clear Signs Manipulation. I just got the direction wrong. Right, where we had expansion causing these new waves despite compression. I figured, hey, this is either going to dump really hard or pump really hard. And, my first inclination was to think dump because I expected lateral mean reversions that are trending. But of course, we got the opposite. So, here we are. Comfy cozy. What is the measure of mean period volatility? Woo. That's why, Cairo, if you're watching this, that's why you got to take the course. Vocabulary is the kicker. I intentionally use convoluted vocabulary so that it requires a certain level of prior knowledge to understand the more advanced points. It's like it's like gatekeeping, if you will. Like, you can get a good amount of my information for free just by listening to me on the live streams. But if you want to get the whole deal, well, then you need to take the lessons to actually learn, or rather to actually understand the vocabulary I'm using. Okay. I'm going to look at one more coin. I keep on saying that. 88. Okay, 88 BTC. Let's check it out. Let's see if it's good for a short. 88 BTC. Good for a short, he says. It's quite the wick. Let's check the mastery. Wow, that's a lot of mass. We're going to check it on the daily, because probably going to give... Actually, let's do the 12-hour. Okay, we're looking at the 140. No, not yet. We're getting short-term compression of our short-term distributions on, say, these time frames. However, I want to see first downward net expansion and then a cross of a mean reversion pivot, okay? Alrighty, folks, this has been a good stream. Let me check one last time. Nothing new. It has been a pleasure. I'm going to see you all tomorrow at the exact same time, 1 p.m. MST. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Send me Taco Bell, and don't drink Windex. Dad Shark out. That hockey, I need to fix that hockey. I'm going to do it right here in front of you guys, because... Hotkeys. Outro. Switch to scene. Oh, yeah, I've just been hitting the wrong key. Okay, here we go. Ready? We're going to try it out. Here we go. Bye, guys.